Good morning. Welcome to TERRA at Home. We're here with Colleen from TERRA, and we are talking about Christmas trees. So just inside of December officially now, and some different aspects of Christmas trees. So obviously we know our fresh cut that we have. Some people have artificial, but this is also a trend that's happening right now. As people are starting to bring in potted trees into their homes.
Definitely. We always have the cut trees. You know, your Fraser fir is still like one of the most popular trees, fresh cut, and it's got the best fragrance and the longest lasting needle retention. But you can't always bring a live tree, especially if you're in an apartment. Some apartments don't allow the fresh cut live trees.
Right.
So you can still get the live tree feel, the fragrance by bringing in a live potted tree.
So that's the way around it, is to have a potted tree.
Yes.
So, and again, obviously some apartments are very, very tiny. You don't have a lot of space anyway, so you're thinking, how am I going to fit? But it's amazing. You can have the tiniest, cutest little tree, and it can be your festive Charlie Brown tree if you want, but these are actually cuter than that. So
yes,
right?
for sure. And a lot of the times too, these are really good too, because even if you have a home, think about where you might want to plant it afterwards.
Yes.
So because these do get large over time.
And they're not meant to stay inside your house.
No, they're not indoor plants.
Right.
When you do pick out a tree like this, such as a potted tree, it should only stay inside for about 10 days tops.
Okay.
Because then it starts kind of confusing itself. Am I supposed to be outside? Is it winter? Is it summer? And then you have some drying aspects to it. So.
Right, he starts getting used to being indoors, and then you throw him outside and it's just going to freak out, right?
Exactly.
So you got to time yourselves if that's what you're going to do with a potted plant, but lots of choices here. So this is a white spruce.
That is a white spruce.
Okay.
It's kind of the old-fashioned standby. A lot of gives you that country feel.
It does.
You can get it in a cut tree as well as the potted. The potteds are just kind of cute, and they're relatively inexpensive, really.
Yes.
And these are all from tree farms that would probably be growing them as a Christmas tree as well. So they're all sustainably grown.
Right.
As are Christmas trees. Christmas trees are a crop in Canada as well as Ontario in particular. And so it's not like you're infecting the environment by buying either potted or a cut tree. Right. They're environmentally produced, just like you have corn in the field. They have, this is a little bit more long term.
That's a good point, though.
Yes.
I think a lot of people are, more people are starting to realize now, you know what, I don't want that artificial tree. I want something fresh. People used to think that it was bad for the environment. We're cutting down trees, but as you say, it's a crop. So they are grown and intended for that. The farmer benefits from it, and it is meant to be.
Yes.
So you are helping everybody and everything.
The farmer benefits from it. So does the environment. This adds the oxygen into the air, takes the CO2 out, and it's a whole life cycle. The carbon footprint of a Christmas tree is way less than any artificial tree. So that is a good thing too. And this can be recycled easily. You can cut it down, put it in your garden. It can be composted. It can be chipped and used in the garden. So it's that whole life cycle of the tree that kind of keeps on going.
Yeah, exactly. So, and again, obviously we talk about the sustainability of these. I mean, if you are having one of these in your home and you plant it outdoors,
definitely,
it's perfect. It's gonna just live on.
And think of a history too, especially if it's your first year in your first home, having a little tree like this and then being able to plant it in your yard.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Or as like a housewarming or something
even. Yes.
Then it kind of gives you that history, like this is our first Christmas tree, and you can look at it year after year. And the nice thing about these too is that because they're small, they can live outside on your patio. Use some outdoor battery operated lights, and you could decorate it and have it outside in your patio. Bring it in for the days that you're going to have your Christmas party or whatever, and then that's what you have your Christmas tree.
Sure.
Put your presents under it and have all your fun, and then you can put it back outside and then still enjoy it for the season. It's
amazing how festive this can also look by just putting, again, some of these battery operated lights, and you don't even have to put anything else in there if you didn't want to.
Oh, definitely.
But you could hang just some cute little tiny red, little baby red balls on it, and it's just it's super festive. Really, really fun.
Yes. So while it is inside, treat it like a houseplant. So you want to water it before you bring it in, and while it's on the patio until it freezes outside, make sure that it's well watered.
Okay.
So you want to soak it the day before you bring it in. Let all the water drain out. Put it in a waterproof pot, such as something decorative. You can still put your little Christmas tree skirt around it, and still make it part of your festivities. And then once you're done within the 10 days, then you can put it back outside.
Okay.
Water it before you put it outside, just so that it's hydrated. And it's just that's the main thing with these, is that the inside air in your home, just as your skin lets you know that it's dry and it gets really dry inside, these trees will dry out too. So just make sure that you treat them like a houseplant, water them well.
Now this guy's a blue spruce over here.
Yes.
And so this is a larger potted plant, and he's pretty hardy, and we know these get massive.
Yes, they do.
So you have to be really smart when you buy one of these. If you are going to have them inside for a little bit and you put them outdoors, you have to allow a lot of space.
Yes, these aren't like the dwarf Alberta spruces that only grow like 4 or 5
No.
feet tall. These ones will get big. So
Sure.
it is important to think about where it's going to go in the end, because you want to be able to put it in a forever home after it's inside your home.
Right.
So you have the blue spruce, you have the white spruce here. This is also a balsam.
Yes.
And there's a few other things that you can get too. Like even a dwarf Alberta can work in a small space too. It's much more tight, compact.
Good.
But there's lots of different choices that you can do to bring inside.
All right, now if we graduate to the fresh cut trees, and again, it's amazing. There are lots of different, and some people have their favorites, right? Lots of different variations. But what ones are that we find that are our faves around here?
Number one, Fraser fir.
Yes.
Best needle retention and really good fragrance to it. It's very, very soft. Very strong branches to hold all your ornaments on it too.
Yes.
Another traditional one, find it more for the kind of the country kind of themes, are the Scotch pines.
Scotch pines, that's what I was just thinking.
I grew up with Scotch pines. They're the one that you
Yeah.
found on the side lot. And you think
Yep.
like the Christmas Story movie with like,
I know.
you know, the tree
I feel
lots.
it's like almost more common then, right?
Yes,
like
definitely.
back in the day, people seem to have Scotch pines more often. So
The variety that's available in trees now is
Yes.
amazing,
Yeah.
because you have your traditionals like your Scotch pine, your Frasers, and your balsams, and a few white spruce still around. But we also have things coming from the west coast like Nordman and Noble firs.
yes.
Fabulous trees, very luxurious, strong branching, thick, full, lush, soft, good needle retention, and they have a slightly different fragrance. Some of them almost have like a citrusy fragrance to them.
Oh, okay.
So they're just fresh and
So maybe try something new this year,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
And I think the best part about a tree is you have to, when you're looking at it, you have to imagine when you bring it home and it starts to warm up that the branches do start to open and
Yes.
fall a little bit, right? So it's not quite as tightly wound as you'll see it, and the fragrances do really come out in the warmer temperatures in your house. Let's talk a little bit about the care.
Yes. So when you do get a live tree, make sure that you get a fresh cut on the bottom of it within about a day of when you're going to bring it inside.
Like you would do with flowers at home, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're going to buy the tree and you're not going to put it up for about a week, don't bother fresh cutting it right away. Fresh cut it just before you bring it in, so
Okay.
that it doesn't seal across the bottom.
Yep.
Put it into a Christmas tree stand, such as this one here, that's got a large reservoir, because it's going to suck up a lot of water.
They drink a lot.
Especially the first few days, because they're getting hydrated. You might have to fill it up like a couple times a day. So fill it up in the morning before you
good
go
sign.
to work. Check when you get home, and
Right.
if it's not sucking it up, then that's when you start to worry.
And you have this as well as a really good, it really does help with the
Yes,
longevity of the tree.
Yes, the Stay Fresh is basically it's a fertilizer, as well as it's got additives in there, all natural, so that it doesn't it prevents the seal, because you know that trees have sap, right?
Yeah.
So when that seals over, then it doesn't have the chance to suck up the moisture. So this helps feed the tree. It gives it the sugars and the nutrients that it needs to stay green, to hold its needles, and to keep sucking up that moisture and intaking the water.
So at this point, December 6th, you can buy a Christmas tree now, and you're good to go
Yeah.
all the way through the
This
Christmas
is the
holiday season.
weekend for Christmas trees.
Oh
the
boy.
first weekend of
Colleen
December.
says. All right.
I'm getting mine.
Me too. All right, thanks, Colleen. Good information. That's it for now. We'll have more TERRA at home right after this break. When I dream in color. And when I think of color, I think of TERRA. Make your Christmas dreams come true at TERRA, where color lives.
Heritage Perennials. Look for us in the blue pots.
Good morning, welcome back to TERRA at Home, and I'm back with Michelle, and we are so comfortably relaxed in front of this beautiful fireplace of ours here at in TERRA. This is amazing, and we've talked about all the themes of Christmas, and along the way we're just getting ourselves prepared here for the Christmas holidays. But let's look what we have around us right now. This is
I know,
awesome.
Isn't it fun? This is one of my favorite parts of Christmas this year, and it was something that came to life in thinking about how we were going to do Halloween and how we were going to do Christmas and transition this year. And that's where the chalkboard sort of worked its way in.
Right.
But the chalkboard behind is just so much fun with all the different words and sayings, and yeah, my team did a great job with all the chalkboards.
And we're really, I mean, as we've been mentioning, you're really seeing the theme of chalkboard everywhere right now. You know, you used to see maybe the old traditional coffee shop or cafe that would have their chalkboards all done up, but you're seeing it more and more often just in mainstream restaurants and everywhere. Just people are using it and going back to some of the creative fonts that we've seen over the years. And if they have an artistic person working for them, they go for it. And but there are professionals that are hired to come in and do this kind of stuff because it's just, there's something about it. A lot of us love to go back to what once was.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And so we've created this, and this is very Christmassy feel, even though there's black involved.
Yes, it's different, isn't it? I think mantles can be so many different things at Christmas. So we really took this on a very whimsical, different kind of look. In fact, in another location, there's a red mantle against the black wall. So everyone has different colored mantles. You have different colored styles, different things.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of different styles.
Yes.
So you kind of have to figure out with your decor what works. I mean, some people have very modern homes, some people have more traditional, and where do you want to take your Christmas theme?
Yes. So it doesn't all have to be candle holders and things like that on your mantle. I mean, lots of people love their different stocking holders, which are great. But put a mirror above your mantle. Put a wreath hanging on a ribbon above it. You know, it could be as simple as that.
Yes.
Or you could do it with a whole bunch of candles all the way across it. Another really great idea is filling glass vases with balls.
Yes.
The balls that you don't use that year from your Christmas ornaments.
Well, we were saying that, you know, you open up some of your Christmas ornaments some years, and there's a section of them maybe you don't feel like using anymore on your tree. And if you don't have a secondary tree or a third tree, then you start to have to think outside the box. Okay, let's put them in some of our arrangements, or let's, as you say, take a big giant vase or a basket and throw them in there. Why not?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Be creative.
You can be very creative. And a lot of people do a lot of live goods as well. So not necessarily having to do ropes and garlands on your mantle, but you could have, you know, bough sprays out of there. They go with the berries really nicely.
Yes.
You can put some snow in the bottom of a vase and it make it look very wintry just in itself.
Exactly.
And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money because, like you said, you can use things from other years, and or this year the wreath on your door, you're ready to change it up, so use the old wreath above your mantle.
Exactly.
Like,
put it somewhere else in your house.
put it somewhere else in your house.
Yeah.
So
I find with Christmas, because it is sort of, you know, we extend the holiday over such a large period of time, and you have lots and lots of people coming over. It's more than just, you know, a lot of times people with Halloween, they'll decorate just maybe the week of, or with Christmas, you know, we're starting in November and we go through, and you know what, you can carry it all through your entire house.
Yes.
Some people decorate their bedrooms even, right, for Christmas, because it's just that really warm, festive feeling.
It is.
When we look at the mantle and you're thinking, you know, we're talking about maybe putting greens as well, that's something, as you say, it's very, you know, it's very cost effective, but it can change everything. When you have greens above your mantle, you know, this is more of like a horticultural question, you have to watch that they don't dry out. So do you spritz your greens?
Just spritz them with a little bit of water.
Okay.
It will keep them moist. You know, you don't want to have candles obviously lit near them. That's
Yeah,
probably
you
not a
have to be
good
careful with
idea.
that kind of stuff, right?
Put things in glass and things like that. And then other people, you know, there's concern sometimes if you have a plant up top there watering it. Typically you'd want to put something in a pot that doesn't have holes in the bottom of it so that you're not watering your actual furniture, because your mantle is a piece of your home.
Yes, it's true.
But yeah, you can do so many different things, which is really fun. I just recently actually did a candy bar for a wedding, and I've seen it done as a mantle top as well for the Christmas season. So you have all different jars filled with red and white candies or gold wrapped candies. You could do a theme, just whatever color you're doing in your home, in all the different jars, which I think is a fantastic idea.
That's actually an awesome idea, and I know that, you know, the whole using mason jars right now is really back again, but I noticed that we have at TERRA here, we have the mason jars with red lids.
With the red lids.
So I was looking at them like, what can I do with those? Because you can do like spiced nuts, and you can do, as you say, fill them with candies and themed candies, even if you don't let anyone touch them. They're not allowed to eat them because it's part of my decoration.
Well, it keeps them away from the kids too if you have them up top.
You're right. It's actually a really cool idea. And again, it's just about being inspired. So, you know, when you walk in the store and you see different stations, different areas that are set up, and you're like, I could do that, or I have some of this, but I'm going to add this to this, and it's just inspiring people
is
for
inspiring.
Christmas and thinking outside the box. I love how we've done, again, just in front of the mantle, depending on what type of fireplace you have. Some people have a real full natural wood fireplace, so you want to be careful with what you're doing. But I love the idea of incorporating practical items that you have. So whether you have your own or, again, tons of really cool, love this toque, by the way. I love this toque. So being able to use this is a good option as well for people, right? Just to decorate, why not? You know, we sell those really cool grapevine deers that we could actually
Absolutely.
put it on his head.
We have the scars on them in some stores.
I know. I've seen that. They have scars around their neck, and I'm actually looked at that and I thought, I'm going to do that. So you probably see that at the front of my house. But again, just taking mittens and just certain items and
Well,
decorating.
you can do it so many different ways, right? You can take a mantle and you can make it more child-friendly, or you can make it more sophisticated and classy,
Exactly.
modern, like you said. There's so many different options.
And you know, when we talked about the different themes, you know, so we have all these themed Christmas trees around TERRA, as with every year, and some of the ornaments from there. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be on a tree. We have these really cool big red bags, like these right here. These red bags are awesome, and just fill them with things.
Fill them with things, yeah.
Right, and
Yeah.
take ornaments and take greens, take whatever.
Take your wood if you have a wood-burning
Take your
fireplace.
wood and put them in front. Like it just really, it gives you just lots of ideas by looking around and seeing. So again, we were talking about, you know, that we have a tartan tree. So using tartan, and you can weave tartan in and around your mantle.
Your mantle, or use a runner, like you can make it a runner across the top, and
Right, because of all the entertaining style things that we have, you can use runners across the top, as you mentioned, and again, just taking all different types of candle holders, mason jars, filling them with things.
It
gives you lots of options. And we're looking at, you know, this beautiful tree behind us here, the reds, the blacks, just beautiful style. And you look at that tree and it is chock full.
oh, they're very full. Yes, but I encourage people to shop off the trees because they are so full.
That's right.
But yeah, I don't, you know, in some people's homes they like to do that, and in other
Yeah.
people's homes they want a little bit more minimalistic look. So.
Exactly, but you could take those almost like cute little buildings, those schoolhouse type things, and put them up on the mantle as well. So there are a lot of things that are on trees that you could put up here.
Absolutely.
And vice versa, right? I mean, you know, there's, but the chalkboard stuff is so much fun, and that's really the big theme this year that we're seeing in birch, and again, just all the colors go. Right? At
They
this
do.
point, all the
Yes.
colors go. Michelle, always great talking to you. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Leslie.
much, and we'll keep continuing to give you great ideas as we make our way through the Christmas season. We'll have more Terra at home. When I dream in color. And when I think of color, I think of Terra. Make your Christmas dreams come true at Terra, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Good morning. Welcome back to Terra at Home. We're back with Chef Mark, and we are at the Spectator Go Cooking Kitchen,
Yes.
and really nice to have for them to be able to host us here. And we are actually preparing ourselves for Christmas morning, or any of the mornings where we may be having guests over, particularly Christmas morning, because the kids wake us up early,
That's
so
right.
you have a lot of time. And well, you know what? Why don't we do something kind of special on Christmas morning?
Yeah, this is a little take that we do at the restaurant. We only do brunches once a year, which is Mother's Day brunch. So this is something I came up with for Mother's Day brunch. It's a little Italian twist on the Eggs Benedict.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's pretty much got the same ingredients. You know, big thing is, instead of using an English muffin for your base, we're using pasta. So,
Oh,
yes, so we're going to use pasta, which
that's
is
the Italian part.
That's
right
the
there.
Italian part. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a pasta frittata. Now, most people are familiar with frittatas
Yes.
as being an egg-based, almost like an omelet.
Mm-hmm.
This is very similar to that, but what we're going to do is we're going to use the pasta and we're going to use the egg as a binder of the pasta to make a nice little bed.
Oh, that is neat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have 3 eggs that I'm putting in, and they don't have to be beaten or anything like that. We just need to get them into the bowl and start mixing them around and get all the pasta coated with the egg.
Okay.
I'm going to add a pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper to it. And
So
I've
you
got
tried this at your restaurant, you said, for Mother's Day with
Yeah.
the pasta on the bottom.
Yep, and it went over really well. Now at the restaurant we do it a little bit different. We do big pans and then we use a cookie cutter and cut them out so we
Oh,
can
okay,
do large
sure.
volume of it. So if you
Right.
want to do it at home, you could do that, put it on a bigger sheet,
Yes.
and then just cut them out.
Ah, it's very smart.
So we're going to put in some butter into a pan, and it's a lot easier to do this in a Teflon pan. Not often did I tell you to use a Teflon pan,
No.
but this is definitely easier to work with in a Teflon.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to heat up the butter. Spread it all around.
People are always looking for sort of just new ideas, a new spin on breakfast
Yeah.
or slash brunch, right? So
This
why
is
not?
it. This is just a little bit different than what you normally would do. So we're going to put that in, and we're going to start frying that up. Put that aside. And you just want to let it cook the way it is right now. So you don't want to move it around too much because you do want that egg to start to solidify
Right.
and
I
help
was just gonna
hold
ask that.
those
Okay.
noodles together. So you
Okay.
don't want to mix it around too much. Over here we have some boiling water. I used it originally to make the hollandaise sauce first. Okay, so you put it on as a double boiler. You put your egg, your butter, and then we have lemon here. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of lemon into that near the end. I'm not going to do it yet. You just have to be careful that you don't overheat it, or else
That's the
it'll
thing.
break.
Hollandaise is one of those things that it can be a little bit,
It's tricky.
yeah, it's a little tedious, right? So
It is a tedious
That
thing.
would be probably the most difficult, time-consuming part of this whole thing, I imagine.
It is. You can get a jump on it, like I did it a little bit earlier, and then what you could do is when you're ready to serve it, just heat it up again, give it a little bit of
Okay.
warmth. But
That's a good
again,
idea.
you just have to be careful. I'm going to use the same pot. I put a little bit of vinegar into that, and that's what I'm going to poach our egg in.
Great.
Okay,
That
so
works. Absolutely.
it's one less pot to
It's
wash.
one less pot. I was just thinking that. Everyone likes that.
So the pasta's frying up, and you can see how it's starting to solidify. And you want that to be nice and firm, okay? Because you do need it as a base. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this one, I'm going to cut it down so that it's a nice uniform shape.
Right.
But again, if you do that into a hotel pan or something like that, or a smaller loaf pan, you can always use a cutter and just cut them out and then put them on your cookie sheet and
Great
start building
idea.
from there.
Great idea.
Yeah.
I think the thing too with the Eggs Benedict style is, again, you can, use so many different types. You can use different types of vegetables. You've seen people using asparagus and spinach and all different types, right?
Different
So,
hams,
hams.
yeah, any
Smoked
cold cut,
salmon.
smoked salmon, yeah. There's definitely a smoked salmon one that's popular. So, all right. In a minute, I'm going to flip that, or would you like to flip that one?
Probably not. Not on TV. Maybe in my own kitchen when I can make it just a disaster of it and nobody will know.
All right, we're going to give this one a flip.
Oh boy. Oh, look at you, fancy pants.
There we go. And now you don't have to worry about cooking it too much or making sure it's warm all the way through because we are going to put it in the oven.
Right.
So it's going to heat up in the oven with all the other ingredients as well.
Okay. So you're just trying to
Okay.
get it to create, congeal, at least to make a.
Just to make a base.
A base.
That's
Yeah,
right. Just to
okay.
get your base. Put this aside. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack this egg. We're going to poach our egg. And like I said, I put a little bit of vinegar ahead of time into this.
And that helps keep it from
It helps keep
sort
it
of
together.
streaming out, right?
That's right. And you don't want it boiling. You just want it hot enough that it's got a slight simmer to it, but nothing too rapid,
Right, it's
or else
almost
it'll
too
break
aggressive,
apart.
right?
It'll,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're just gonna put some water onto that. There
Now,
we
when
go.
if you're serving, how are you making a whole bunch of eggs for a whole bunch of people? Like when you're doing it that style?
When you're doing poached eggs,
Yes.
you have to put them in the water one at a time. There are egg poachers I've seen out there. I've never tried one myself, to be
Like that
honest
are
with you. I
separate.
really don't know if it works.
Right.
But for us, when we do them at the restaurant, because we do a poached egg on top of our carbonara pasta, and you know,
Sure.
there's times we have lots of those orders going out.
Right.
So we crack one. Once it starts to hold together, we know we
You
can
can do
crack
another.
another one and start working our way around the pot. And the bigger the pot, obviously, the more you're going to get around
Okay.
there.
Okay.
So
All right.
if you have a nice big rondelle style pot, you can put a whole whack
then
of
you
them
can
in
do
there.
it, and it's just timing, right?
exactly.
That's fun. A lot of times people have it timing any type of meal, but particularly breakfast can be difficult because you are dealing with eggs.
Breakfast is actually one of the hardest meals to cook, by far. I mean, it uses the most amount of pans,
Sure.
the most amount of ingredients. I mean, a lot of other things you can get done faster than breakfast food.
And you really can't, there's not a lot of prep time ahead of,
No.
where you can work ahead, right?
Nope, none at all. So there's the pasta there, okay? And like I said, I'm gonna cut this just so I have a nice uniform shape. So I'm gonna cut it in half, like that. And this is gonna form the base of our Eggs Benedict.
This is so neat. It's just it's so different. It smells great, and why not, right? It's just
There we
another
go.
version of a carbohydrate that you're using
That's
for
it.
your.
That's all it is. It's just another version. And I'm gonna put that
Okay.
into our pan. Oh, I still need to cut that a little bit better than that. There we go. Now what you do with all this stuff, all the leftover that you have, just throw it back in a pan, continue frying it, and you got a nice little pasta dish as
Yeah,
well.
okay.
You could actually add some bacon. You got yourself almost a carbonara.
Yeah, it's
right
almost
there.
a carbonara.
You're
Yeah,
almost there.
absolutely. Here, maybe I can help you.
That'd be
This is
great.
all the assisting I can do, all right?
On it goes.
Very good. All right, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll finish this
Finish
all
it
up
off.
for you. Here.
Sounds good.
When I dream in color. And when I think of color, I think of TERRA. Make your Christmas dreams come true at TERRA, where color lives.
I am a truth seeker.
A storyteller,
a dedicated volunteer,
I am a caring neighbor.
a customer's best friend,
and a client advocate.
I am a survivor,
a social media junkie.
A proud father of four and problem solver.
I am the Hamilton Spectator.
I am the Hamilton Spectator.
I am the Hamilton Spectator.
I am.
We are the Hamilton Spectator.
Good morning, welcome back to TERRA at Home. We're back with Chef Mark from La Piazza Allegra Restaurant in Hamilton, and we were thinking about great brunch ideas around the holidays, and we
Here it is.
have them in the oven right now. So a twist on Eggs Benedict.
So what
with
I
a
did,
pasta base.
pasta base. We did the pasta, which we saw. Then I layered it, some spinach on there. I put some Black Forest ham, and then we put the poached egg on top.
I like the idea of the spinach too. It gives color, but it's
It does.
also it's obviously very healthy for you. But it's just such a nice twist. Even people who don't like spinach, you can handle this.
That's
That
right.
looks awesome.
And then we're going to squeeze a little bit of lemon juice into this hollandaise, just
All
to
right,
give a
the
little
hollandaise,
zing.
and that just adds so much flavor. Beautiful. And we're talking about all the different twists you can take on Eggs Benedict. So whatever you're liking. I love smoked salmon with it. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So good.
And
cheese.
no point being shy with the hollandaise
No, why
because
not? You went to all that work.
that's right, exactly. You need all that work. We got a little bit of paprika, give it a little bit of smokiness for
That's nice.
flavor.
You can find this recipe on our website as well, terragreenhouses.com. So again, just a nice little twist. I like the idea of using the pasta on the base. It's great because a lot of times we cook pasta, we have extra leftover.
That's right.
So this is a great idea. It's amazing what you can do with pasta nowadays for leftovers. You can do all kinds of things, and there's an example.
Fry it up and away you go. You got breakfast the next
This is
day.
beautiful. So you know what? Again, obviously the original, I guess, is an English muffin style.
That's right.
More that you would normally
Yep,
do. But
normally it's an English muffin. Like I said, we just came up with this, and I think it was because I had cooked too much pasta the night before.
Sure. And you're a chef, so you just
And
can
we're
say,
like, let's do this
look what I
for
can do.
Mother's Day brunch.
You're
That's
handy
right.
to have around, right? So again, so Mother's Day brunch all the way now to the holiday season. This is another alternative for you. So thanks, Mark.
Yeah, no problem.
Some good
Thank you.
ideas. All right, and thanks again to the Hamilton Spectator for letting us use their Go Kitchen today. That's it for now. We'll see you next weekend. Have a good one.